okay, so this was Christmas Raw, and next week's going to be New Year's Eve Raw with the Big Show in a diaper. So I'll just toss things finally. Okay, they did a Carols match. I skipped that. They did a 12 Divas Jingle Bells match where all of the face divas got together and did like a pivoting clothesline spot that was just horrible. So pretty much Natalie kind of pivoted as they constantly added more and more divas into like a toilet drain sort of swirling motion. And I think Natalya made Oksana tap. It was, They've got 14 divas on their roster. They put 12 of them in a match that's barely even considered a match. I mean, it was just horrible. And Damien Santa played the part of evil Santa. So the very smart Santa did not know how to clean his clothes. And then took on good Santa and Mark Henry in a Battle for Christmas match, which felt a lot like the Broadway Brawl, the Hamilton Hardcore match, where it was just random crap thrown into the ring for two people to have a wrestling match, and with, of course, the face winning. Better choice would have instead of rather been the freshly turned heel Brodus Clay. I think Brodus Clay, beyond having the actual look of a Santa Claus, would have been very interesting to see in this sort of match against Mark Henry. Orton gave himself the night off. The Brotherhood and Daniel Bryan took on the Wyatts. Great match. Again, they did 2 6-man matches that were just fantastic. Just really, really great matches to watch. Wyatts, get the victory, do the post-match beatdown on Daniel Bryan. Beautiful, works great. They're actually still continuing a nice storyline, which works well. Usos took on the Primetime Players. Darren Young said it's great to be in Houston while they were in Austin. They played it off pretty well. You can tell it was actually designed to be like that. So PTP, Usos. Usos got the victory. Nice match. Worked well. Good match. Beyond the 3 throwaway segments they did in the ring, it's actually a decent night of wrestling. Los Matadores and Blanco Toro took on the Real Americans. Why Los Matadores is, I think, still undefeated is beyond me. I mean, they actually pulled a twin magic, I don't know how you say that in El Espanol, Twino Magico. And it didn't work, but eventually, off of a high crossbody. Out of all the moves you could do, you finished the move with a high crossbody. Not a surprise high crossbody. Not one of those springboard high cross, just a high crossbody. And I was like, oh, that's kind of lame. So they pinned Swagger 1, 2, 3. Alright. Ryback had a match against Kofi Kingston. I thought Kofi was feuding with The Miz. Now, I'm going to get off of Raw for a second. I've been watching all 3 of the shows now because there's really nothing else on TV. And The Miz seems to be either a face or a heel or a tweener, depending on which show he's on. He seems to be all 3 in the course of a week. He'll be a heel on Raw, and then he'll team up with, Mick Foley Claus, and then he'll be a tweener again on SmackDown. It's really confusing, but and so you're going to see Ryback and Kofi. Of course, Kofi losing to Ryback. Okay match, made no sense at all, but okay match. Ziggler and Fandango fought with the #1 contendership for the IC title on a pole match. Joke my buddy, they should have had 2 poles, a North and a South pole, but, that would have been too complicated. So it's your standard random option on a pole match. They pretty much spent all their time at a turnbuckle to see who could knock the other person off to get the present. It was Fandango. Okay match. It's just really kind of like, this is... Just give them a straight up one-on-one match for it. Don't do a gimmicky thing. It's just, it did not work at all. It's about the end of the matches. Except for the main event. Sin Cara took on Curtis Axel. And Curtis Axel actually put on a pretty decent match against Sin Cara. Up to this point in time, Sin Cara has pretty much just been owning Del Rio. But seems the problem with Curtis Axel, and of course he beats Axel in a pretty competitive match, but it was just... And I still think that Axel's shirt, like, better than perfect, it needs like a question mark. It needs like some sort of hint that it's ironic. It's like, better than perfect. The genesis of perfect. I mean, he's coming a long way in the ring, but he's got a really hard lineage to try to overcome. It's going to be really rough for him to do that. He'll have to have the genesis of Curtis Axel for him to really, really make that good transition. So what's your main event? John Cena and CM Punk versus The Shield. If you watch SmackDown, John Cena and CM Punk took on The Shield, getting the daylights beaten out of them. Big E Langston makes a save. So now you got Big E Langston joining the team of John Cena and CM Punk to face The Shield. And The Shield's victorious. Post-match beatdown, pretty much just flat out get owned. But, you know, they did a good job. Oh, wait a minute, no. Shield was victorious last time. This was a DQ finish. It's always hard to tell sometimes, because when you see The Shield fight CM Punk, this is, let's see now, TLC, which was a week ago, then Raw, then SmackDown, then Raw. This is the fourth time he's fought them. And after a while, some of the Shield matches, they face the same guys over and over again, kind of blend together a little bit. Also, yeah, they didn't win us. That was a really sick spear on John Cena, which then led to the finish fest. And then they did another break up the pinfall. Someone I think actually explained one time that if you break up a pinfall, it's like twice in a match, it leads to a DQ. But like 3 guys in the ring doing a simultaneous beatdown on one person beyond the 5 count occasionally isn't a DQ. You know, it is interesting to see that, you know, Big E Langston, he's getting some pop from the crowd. You know, that's going to be interesting to see what happens next year when he really, really begins to take off. Oh, and some other guys returning on January 20th. Oh yeah, Batista. Which would be interesting to see. You know, will he come back as a face? Will he come back as a heel, joining the Authority? Will he be against the Authority? Will he just show up and just beat the crap out of John Cena for a couple of months? Will he show up, beat John Cena, and then be like, you know, I want to challenge Taker? Maybe he will team back up with one of his initial tag team partners for a while he teamed up with Brock Lesnar. Will the two of them show up and become a tag team to feud with Mark Henry and Big E Langston? Who knows? It'd be neat to see him, you know, come back and be the part-timer from January till probably SummerSlamish. Because, you know, he's got the hype of his movie coming up, Guardians of the Galaxy, where he will play Drax. Drax being done in the Riddick style as opposed to the older style when he's more kind of like a Hulk clone.